Hello, my name is Ben.
And my name is Josh.
And welcome back to FPL Graduates, and welcome back to a new series. Yes, it is near the end of the season, but we are always coming up with new content ideas, and this is a new one for you guys. It's called the Points Predictor, and it's a very, very interesting sort of topic almost to do with FPL.
Yeah, so every week, me and Ben are going to select a few players that are on the tips of everyone's tongues in the community. We're going to give a prediction, and we're going to go against Fantasy Football Hub's prediction as well. See who comes out on top and who gets the most points this week.
Yeah, so we're gonna sort of almost see what our predictions are going to be like, what our thoughts are on each player, and almost compare what our thoughts are that maybe haven't been so deep and delved into the stats compared to Fantasy Football Hub and their prediction tool, which uses every single possible statistic that they can. So with every week on the Points Predictor, we're going to be bringing you players that have a lot of interest in the FPL community for this week. And for this week and going forwards, Philippe Coutinho is one of those players.
Yeah, obviously Villa double in 36 and 37. So he's someone that you're probably going to have for every single game week left of this season. As you can see, there are stats on screen taken from Fantasy Football Hub. So expected assists and expected goals, not too bad. His expected points over the last 5 is 20. He's obviously not hit the heights that most people have thought he would. But 2 doubles coming up. Villa have got some nice fixtures as well, Ben. What's your thoughts on Coutinho?
I'm not too sure personally. I think we've seen a little bit of a downturn in form. We saw a little bit of unsustainable sort of points coming from Coutinho in the early days of his Aston Villa career. So we were always going to expect it to plateau at some point. We're just seeing that a little bit over the last sort of 5 game weeks or so. 3 shots on target and 3 shots in the box is not the greatest, but Coutinho is that sort of player that's going to be hitting shots a lot of the time from outside the box anyway.
So for this week, I am predicting Coutinho to get 8 points. I see him getting one return, maybe an assist and a bonus point in one of Villa's games. I think he's definitely going to get a return. He's been too far long not having one.
Yeah, and I've gone for a bit of a different approach. I don't think Coutinho is going to get any returns at all this week. I think two pointers are on the card for him. Yes, it's a double game week, but one of those games is at home to Liverpool. So it's a tough fixture to have for Coutinho. And Burnley are the other team, and they're fighting for their lives. So I think Coutinho could struggle in there. So Fantasy Football Hub, their prediction is that Coutinho is going to get 6.6 points this week, right in between mine and Josh's prediction. What do you guys think? Do you think that Fantasy Football Hub has got it spot on with this one? They're basically predicting, similar to Josh, 1 return in the 2 games, maybe an assist, 6.6 points. It's interesting.
So moving on to the next player, it's going to be Phil Foden. He seems to be the pick of the bunch in terms of Man City midfielders. He's obviously one of the cheapest at 7.8 million, and he seems to be quite good in terms of minutes at the moment anyway. 324 in the last 4 games is quite good. Obviously shots on target 2, shots in the box 3. He's producing some good stats, some stats we'd expect to see from a player of the quality of Phil Foden, Ben.
Yeah, I like Phil Foden a lot, and I think he starts at least one of the 2 games that he's got this week. Yeah, he's a creative player in a City team that are doing very well at the minute, and I think they're going to have to keep winning games to keep up with Liverpool and keep ahead of them by the fine margin that they are. So I can see Phil Foden getting involved in a lot of the points going on. Yes, he's got. I'm probably contradicting myself with the sort of stats because he is sort of showing relatively similar stats to Coutinho, but I do believe in a City team that's producing a higher output, he's a better pick for me.
Yeah, and obviously Man City, obviously fighting for the title. They're fighting for goal difference as well. It's literally like a goal between City and Liverpool at the top there. So, you know, we're going to see maybe some potentially high-scoring games for City and Liverpool. So these midfielder assets, the cheaper ones especially, like Diaz, Jota, Foden, Mahrez, these guys could potentially go nuclear in the coming weeks. My prediction for Foden this week isn't as nuclear. It's going to be a 5-pointer. I see him getting benched in one of the games and maybe coming on in the other and getting an assist. Ben, you've gone slightly higher.
Yeah, I think Coutinho is going to get sort of a 7-8 pointer in one of the games and maybe gets a little bit of a rest in the other one. So I've gone for 9 points overall. I can see Foden getting a return. He could quite easily get a return. I've gone a little bit sort of conservative with it. Yeah, I think Foden a 9-pointer is realistic. Fantasy Football Hub, they've predicted 8.58 points this week. So very, very similar to what I've gone for. they seem to think that Foden is in for a goal this week too. Okay, so next on our list is Joel Matip. This has been a guy that everyone has been looking to this week in the FPL community as a cheaper option to get into that Liverpool defence. He is at 5.2 million at the moment, and he is a starter in that Liverpool team in the Premier League. Obviously, he is the centre-back that's paired with Van Dijk in the Premier League rather than the Champions League, so we can expect him to start.
Yeah, Konate's been the guy in the cups, it seems, as of late. Obviously, been playing in Champions League, as you mentioned. Matip as well, £2 million cheaper than Robertson, who's obviously the next guy who people will probably have on their lips. He could be rotated as well, Robertson. He's played in their last 6 games consistently. He got took off a little bit early in that Villarreal second leg, but I still think there is definitely room for rotation, especially with Tsimikas, who's been a great player for Liverpool this season as well. Good little rotation option. Obviously, Matip, though, not going to offer as much attacking threat as those guys, but still could get those clean sheet points.
So, I'm predicting that Matip is going to get 7 points this week. I think he's going to get a clean sheet, potentially not a clean sheet against Spurs, but I think he's going to get at least 1 in the bag, get a 6-pointer, and then potentially get 1 point in the other game. It's quite similar with a lot of these assets with double game weekers. I think a few of them are going to get a return in one game and not the other.
Yeah, I'll see a lot of rotation is going to impact that. I'm similar to Ben. I think an 8-pointer is quite justified here. I think you see Matip play both games, as we mentioned. I don't think there's going to be much rotation with him this week, but I think they will definitely concede to Spurs. Spurs need to win this game as much as Liverpool if they want to get that top 4 spot. So I think they'll concede in that game and then keep the clean sheet in the other.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see that Fantasy Football Hub have gone for 8.68 points prediction for this week. They've gone very similar. I think this is a safe prediction to go for. I think this is what everyone sort of in the community expects from an asset like Joel Matip.
So next up, Matty Cash, a very talked about asset as well. Obviously coming in at a similar price to Joel Matip that we've just spoken about, but offers a lot more going forward in that Villa team. As you can see, for a right back, he's offering 4 shots on target, 4 shots in the box in the last 5 appearances. That's better than Phil Foden and Coutinho that we've had on this list already. One big chance created. He looks like a really, really good asset if you're talking about stats, Ben.
Yeah, he looks fantastic to go for at the moment. Yes, we were talking about the tough fixture that Aston Villa have got in 36 with Liverpool, but the other fixture, Cash could do decently well in. And as much as Villa have looked a bit toothless going forwards, at the back, they're looking a lot more solid again. We've seen the return of Lucas Digne as well, so it's looking quite good for the defensive front for Aston Villa. So I expect Matty Cash to be a popular pick for this week.
So on to the predictions. I've gone bold with this one. I think Matty Cash definitely has the potential to cause a few problems. Maybe get a clean sheet and an attack and return like we've seen Marcus Alonso do in the past few weeks. So I've gone 14 points. It's going to be way over the predicted points for Fantasy Football Hub, but I think he generally could go nuclear this week.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because I've gone for 8 points. I've gone a little more conservatively with this one. Yes, I think he gets a clean sheet, potentially a bonus point in that first game. But in the second game, I don't see Cash getting a return against Liverpool, unfortunately. But, you know, I could be proven wrong. And I'm definitely sure that Cash has the potential to get a big, big haul. It's interesting, though, what Fantasy Football Hub have predicted for Matty Cash this week. They've predicted him to get 5.32 points this week. So they've predicted almost no returns from Matty Cash. They predict him to get potentially a 3-pointer in one game and 2 points in the other, which is not a lot at all. They're leaning more towards that Aston Villa are going to concede in both games this week. Okay, so we're moving on to Kasper Schmeichel, the Leicester goalkeeper. And as you can see, not many shots on target, not many shots in the box, not many big chances created. But, you know, his expected points is what we're looking at here. 22.97 over 7 appearances is not too bad at all, realistically. And an important stat to sort of consider is his minutes. He is very much nailed in that Leicester City team, where a lot of the assets, especially outfield, aren't as nailed in.
Yeah, definitely. You know what you're sort of getting when you're picking a Leicester defender. They're not the best defensive team in the league, but they do have back-to-back double game weeks in 36 and 37. Only 2 other teams have that. That we've discussed about with Aston Villa and Everton. So there's only a small sample to choose from. I think Schmeichel potentially is one of the best ones. He's so good at saving penalties as well that we've seen throughout this season as well. He's got that potential in him. So it's going to be interesting, I think, to see how we've predicted these points. What have you gone for, Ben?
So I've gone for an 8-pointer for Kasper Schmeichel. I think he's going to get some save points, which is going to bump it up. I think you get 1 clean sheet this game week. I think it's fair to say Leicester's defence hasn't been the best this season. I think 1 clean sheet is good. And then we're going to see a couple of points here and there for save points, appearance points, that sort of thing. So I've gone for 8 points for Schmeichel this week.
Yeah, I've not backed Schmeichel personally. 5 points, maybe 2 and a 3 with a save point. I think Leicester prone to conceding, could see some rotation. Obviously, Thursday in the Conference League will tell us a lot more about what sort of lineup we'll see with Leicester as well. So if they go through, I think we'll see a lot more rotation. If they don't, I think we'll see more of a first string side put out for Leicester. So it's going to be difficult, but I think they beat Roma and go through. And I think Schmeichel, sadly, won't have his first choice defence in front of him.
Yeah, and let's see what Fantasy Football Hub have gone for. They have gone for 7.66 points this week. So they are siding a little bit more with me than they are with Josh. It's looking like that they think he's going to get potentially a few points going forwards. Couple of save points. I don't think it's out of question for Schmeichel to get a solid score this week.
So the next asset we're going to be talking about is Heung-min Son. And boy, he's been messing up with me and Ben this week. We're Kane owners. He's been outscoring him absolutely every single week. But he's been playing really, really well. And someone to consider even to bring in this week. Look at those stats. They're absolutely unbelievable. 10 shots on target, 13 shots in the box, 6 big chances created. Similar stats to Harry Kane, no mind. But he's been outperforming him, as Son always does. He always outperforms the data. What's your thoughts on Son so far this season, Ben?
Wow, he's a rank killer and a half, but we also got to know that Son's going to have a tough double game week coming up. Liverpool away and Arsenal at home is a very tough double game week to have. But I do think, Spurs could get a couple of goals in those games. So it'll be interesting to see what we've predicted for this one, as Son has sort of hurt us a lot. So there might be a little bit of sort of hiding behind the cipher for this one.
Yeah, so a big split between me and Ben. I think 15-pointer for him this week. I really see him scoring against both teams in Arsenal and Liverpool. I think if you look at Liverpool's team, they can see the most chances down their right-hand side where Son will be operating with Trent's side, and obviously Arsenal as well. Sort of a makeshift back four at the moment with no Tierney, no Tomiyasu coming in and out of the team. So I see him returning against Arsenal as well. Ben is saying he's sticking to his guns. He's blanking again. He's hoping so anyway.
Yeah, I've gone for potentially a Heung-min Son blank, if not maybe one assist, and that's it going forwards for this double game week. Yes, Son's been in exceptional form, but I feel like the vibes of FPL suggest that he's due a blank. So I've gone with a Son blank in a double game week, which will shock many, as I'm sure many people are trying to bring him in as quickly as possible to stop the damage. But I do think that Son's potentially got a blank in him this week. It's not out of possibilities. So yeah, it's a Heung-min Son 5-pointer. This could come back to absolutely hoard me, but we move. So what we are saying on Fantasy Football Hub is 8.22 points. They've gone pretty much in the middle of what we're saying. They reckon that Son is probably going to get a return, which is highly likely, but they don't think he's going to go quite as nuclear as Josh has made him out to be on a 15-pointer. So let's see how that goes. And the final player on our list is Mohamed Salah. As you can see, over his last 5 appearances, he's had 360 minutes, 3 shots on target, 11 shots in the box. And, it could be a very interesting double game week for a potential captain option for this game week. Yeah,
obviously Mo came out on Tuesday night, it was, against Villarreal, saying that he's hit his assist target. He now needs to hit his goal target of 40 goals. I'm not sure if that will happen, but I think we'll see maybe a bit more selfish Mo Salah. As you see, the stats are pretty good. They always happen with Salah. It's just about the returns. And obviously, compared to the start of the season, they're nowhere near the sort of state of that. But they're still coming back in a sort of a small form. And he's seen him return in the Champions League with an assist. So he's probably going to be a bit highly owned player this week. What's our thoughts, Ben, on your prediction?
Yeah, so I've gone with a 14-pointer. Again, I've gone a bit conservative. It seems a bit boring at this point, but I think he's going to get a goal and an assist in this game week. They could come in both games and he could blank in the other. I think he's going to get a goal in one and an assist in the other. As we know, Salah seems to, get one return and not pick up any bonus points. So I think we could see a similar sort of story here. I've gone for 14 points for Mohamed Salah. Josh, talk us through your prediction.
I'll just go bold, me. 20-pointer. I think he scores. I think that Spurs game's got the capabilities of being a high-scoring game. Like, both teams need to win So I think we'll see Salah probably score a couple in that one, maybe a penalty. I can see it maybe being like a 3-2 either way to either side. So yeah, I think Salah will score a couple in those, maybe get an assist in the other. But yeah, I think 20 points over 2 games is not out of question. We've seen what he can do in double game weeks, like we did earlier in the season. Obviously, harder opposition, not Leeds and Norwich this time, but I think it's going to be a good captaincy option, probably the best captaincy option for this week.
Yeah, so Fantasy Football Hub have gone for lower than both of our predictions. They've gone for 12.15 points. Maybe that's something to do with the fact Salah hasn't been hauling as much recently, but, you know, I think a return is very much going to happen in this game week for Salah. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. So it's good to see that Fantasy Football Hub are backing us up by saying that Salah's going to get a return this week.
So that rounds up our points predictions for double game week 36. The 3 game weeks left of the season. It's nearly over. Where are you ranked? Let us know in the comments. Who are you predicting to score the most points this week as well? Let us know in the comments. And yeah, that's been it then, hasn't it?
Yeah, guys, let us know what you thought of this new series. Did you like it? And what players do you want to see next week? Let us know. Please make sure to like, comment and subscribe if you like the content, and follow us on all of our socials. And as per usual, I've been Ben.
I've been Josh.
And we'll see you guys
later. Have a good game week, everyone.